Hello, good evening, ma'am. Can we start, ma'am?
Yeah. Whenever you
Uh,
say, then we will start.
uh, okay.
Yeah.
Dear participants, let me introduce ma'am. Dr. Daisy Wadhwa is an assistant professor and head of the Department of Computer Science and Application at Guru Nanak Khalsa College for Women, Ludhiana. A passionate educator and lifelong learner, she focuses on student-centered teaching and innovative digital learning practices. Her research interests include artificial intelligence, machine learning, learning analytics, MOOC designs, and collaborative e-learnings. Dr. Wadhwa have published many research papers in reputed journal and conference and has contributed to chapter to the academic books. She has been actively involved in the NPTEL initiatives, serving as a teaching associate, content developer, and discussion forum moderator for the MOOCs conducted through the SWAYAM portal. She has conducted numerous faculty development programs and training sessions on e-content development and online pedagogy. She is also a member of EdTech Society at IIT Bombay. Uh, there is one formation for you. You can participants. You can raise your hands whenever you require to unmute. We can unmute, or otherwise you can write your message or in chat box. Now, ma'am, you can start.
Yeah. Thank you for the warm introduction. So, good afternoon, everybody. In fact, it is evening now, and coming for an evening session itself is a kind of a different kind of an experience. So, with that, we have a very interesting session today. The session today is going to talk about how we can make our presentations, which we as teachers use almost every day to convey our ideas. On a digital screen, they act like a chalkboard for us, right? We can convey our ideas to our students who are our main audience. And even in any kind of a conference or a seminar where we are presenting, we use presentations to convey our ideas. And if a presentation it is designed in an engaging and an appealing manner, it becomes a kind of a great interaction with the audience. But at the same time, if it is not designed in a proper manner, it can be very distracting for the audience. So, through today's session, we are going to see how we can make our presentations engaging for our audience. We will look at certain visual design principles which are available through research. They are not just random principles which we are going to discuss, since there is a word known as principles. So they are well researched principles that we are going to discuss. And after that, once we have a look at the principles, we will have a lab session where we will evaluate these slides, some pre-designed slides, on the basis of the principles that we are going to discuss today. And I want to mention one thing, that this is an completely interactive session. I want all of you to participate because it is some topic with which we all of us are related. And the entire session today is designed in the form of activities. So you have to come do the activity, interact. Therefore, I requested the organizer, EICT Academy, to unmute you in case if you want to share your ideas other than the chat window. If you want to write in the chat, that is really good. But if you want to speak up other than writing in the chat, that would be like really, really great. So, to begin with the first activity, I want all of you to specify what is the biggest challenge that you face when you are creating or designing slides for your topic or your presentation. What is the biggest problem, issue, challenge that you face? I'm waiting for your comments in the chat, everybody. If you want to speak up, then we can request, you can raise your hand and we can request to unmute you. We already have 25 attendees, right? Okay, so we have received the first response from Dr. Gopalakrishnan creating diagrams. Oh, in fact, and using images, Dr. Radhika. So, in fact, I have one small segment in today's presentation where we are going to see how we can use something like AI to create engaging diagrams. So, we have that part, but of course, the biggest challenge that we face is what kind of images we use, what diagrams that have to be created. Any other challenge? Any other challenge that you can think of? Any issue? I have to create slides, but what should I do? The one thing that comes in my mind or while I'm creating, I'm sure you have created numerous slides till date, right? So any challenge that you think, apart from diagrams and images that Dr. Gopalakrishnan and Dr. Radhika have already mentioned. Okay, so we have 27 attendees, right? Now, so at least a few more responses. I'll wait for at least two more responses. Any other challenge? Formatting. Okay. Dr. Anandi, yeah. So, formatting, how do we format, right? Formatting is a big issue, especially for slides, right? So, okay. So, any other challenge, or I'll move forward, right? Okay. So, what I thought of when, okay, design. Okay, we have design, animation. Okay, so these are the challenges. When I was thinking, I also thought about that whenever I am creating slides, I have to think of how do I segment the information? How do I divide the content into different slides? As a educator, all of us, we are very good with the content writing part. But how do we chunk that part into different slides, right? And how much of the content should go into one slide? And as far as Kesava Rao ji has mentioned, design part, we need to think about the color, what font is appropriate for a particular presentation. And we also have the animation, Dr. Anandi mentioned about animation effect. And also, how do we present the data or in the form of tables, charts, and what images, graphics to add, which we saw Dr. Gopalakrishnan and Dr. Radhika mentioned, right? So these are the biggest challenges, right? So through this presentation today, we are going to see how we can handle some of these challenges. So with this, I want to I want all of you to look at this slide. This slide is divided into two parts. On the right hand side, you can see a sample slide that I have taken from a presentation. And in this slide, you have to look for at least one design issue, one problem design, or any issue that you think with this slide which is there. Okay, one Dr. Radhika has mentioned very fast, fastest finger first, in fact. Too much text, yes. So there is a lot of text in this presentation. Any other issue other than the text? Of course, there is a lot of text. Everybody, how many fonts can you see in this sample slide? How many can you count and see how many fonts? Okay, indentation, Nritya, not formatted, multiple fonts. Okay, justification of paragraph. Okay, we will come to that point. That is, Dr. Anandi, that is a good point. Yeah. And multiple fonts, if everybody, can you count the number of fonts in this case? Okay, three fonts, yes. So probably three more. One font I can see for the title coloring. Okay, coloring, especially for the band. Okay, Nitya is saying four fonts. Okay. So there are multiple fonts. There are four fonts which have been used. And all of you are absolutely right. And justification of the paragraph, we'll come to that. I'll come back to that point later again. And see, one font is for the top band, which is there, and one for the text, probably multiple in the text, in fact. So what we have found here is that text attack, we talked about, there is a lot of text. And so what we have done is we have tried to reform this slide into a slightly better looking slide as compared to the previous one. So the thing that we have done here is that we have tried to structure that information in the form of a table. So we have taken help of a table to give a little structure to the text that we were seeing earlier. So the slide was talking about the steps for buying domain name for a website. So we have divided those steps in the different table rows. So this is an improvement over the previous one. Any other issue that you think with this slide or anything that can be improved, still further improved in the second design that you are seeing? We have added a table to create a structure. Further improvements are possible. And can you give any suggestions for further improvement? Okay, justification. Okay, still you want to, we'll talk about justification. Okay, lengthy title. Title can be reduced. Steps in buying a domain name. We can have slight reduction. Okay. Apart from the content we can of course reduce. Any design suggestions other than Nritya talked about justification, right? Any other design suggestions that you want to give? Are you okay with the background which is there? Okay, no picture representation. We have added icons, Dr. Anandi. We added icons for choose, search, and then register, right? Some icons have been added. Okay, so background, any issue? Is the background like appropriate for this slide? Is it doing any good to this slide? Okay, no. Okay, so we agree that the background is also not appropriate. Okay, so what we tried to do with this, uh, just have a look at this design now. What about this one? Is this an improvement over the previous one? Have we reduced the text? Okay. Dr. Rao is saying yes. Okay. Anandi is saying okay. So we have reduced the text. And since it is a step-by-step process of buying the domain name, we have used the timeline feature here, right? And we have added icons also. And if we go back to the previous slide, just have a look at the kind of color that we have used for the band, which is there at the top. This is a very vibrant, bright blue color that has been used, right? But we have kind of made this a little subtle because it is going to be like probably used in a classroom. So we have kind of toned down that color, made it into a more subtle pastel blue. And since the entire color scheme of the slide is towards blue, so we have used different shades of blue to specify the different steps which are involved in creating or buying a domain name for a particular website. So, so specifically what we have done is we have cut down the clutter. Initially, if we go back, what kind of slide we had? This, where we had a lot of text, right? We have come down to this part where we have cut down the clutter and we have made that particular text heavy slide into a design which is crisper and which is specifying the key points. And especially for a presentation slide where if you write everything on the slide, all of us, we know that, and we tell our students also that if you write everything on the slide, I'm going to read your slide only. I don't want you. I will read the slide and understand. So slides are only, or presentation is only an aid which you are using to convey your ideas. So you are basically the hero, heroine of that particular presentation. And the audience should listen to you instead of just simply reading the slides. So you need to like tone down on the text, and the design theme also should be appropriate. So I'm sure all of you agree with this, right? Or any inputs that you have, you can keep on giving in the chat. If you want to unmute, we can unmute also. Everybody, are you there? You can give thumbs up, something. Some emoji in the chat will also do. Okay, let me see how many of us we have joined today. We are already 36 now, right? Okay, so great. Okay, so of course, we can make the text bold. Okay, so great. If you are here and listening, it is going to be really great. So what are we going to do next is that we will have a look at another slide design. And this slide is talking about William Shakespeare and the work that he has done. And I want you to identify one change that you would like to make to the slide design. Is the slide looking okay? We have on the right hand side a sample slide. Okay, dimension of the slide. Okay. Anything else about what is there on the slide? How is it designed and how we can improve the slide? Apart from the dimension, everything okay? Are you okay with the alignment and everything else? Are you liking the slide? Okay, as vertical mode, okay. So probably vertical mode, okay. And aspect ratio. Aspect ratio of the photograph of William Shakespeare, right? Dr. Gopalakrishna and Dr. Rao also. Are we talking about the, okay, aspect ratio of the, yes, absolutely. So aspect ratio is the ratio of width is to height, right? So it is not correct. It is elongated. So this kind of a thing usually happens when, and we see this in the student presentations when they try to change the size of the image by dragging the, dragging it from the, like this side of the presentation of this photograph. So every time you need to resize, we need to resize from the corners. So that would maintain the aspect ratio. So if you resize from the left side or right side or top and bottom, then the aspect ratio is going to go. So we have a lot of description. What Nitya is saying. Nitya, are you talking about the description that this description is like too much? Yes? Okay. So you have identified almost all the problems, right? So what problems we have here is the first thing we have is this is not properly scaled. We can present in bullets. Yes, of course, we can present in bullets. So of course, this is not kind of the text that we want to place on a slide. And initially also, when we started with what issues are we facing with when we are creating presentations, we were talking about, I think Dr. Radhika mentioned, right? Using images and what images to take. And another thing that we need to keep in mind is that every time we take an image from the internet, we need to mention the attribution or the source of the image. So, or simple, and we need to specify this to our students also because they have the tendency to directly copy the images from the internet. Just do a simple Google search, whatever image is suitable, and then put that image, right? So that is going to create issues for them when they go into the industry. And so we need to specify that they need to give a source or an attribution to an image. And along with that, we also can specify that when we do a Google search, what we can do is we can have a search filter applied where we search for images which can be used for non-commercial purposes and they're free to use. There are certain websites also which allow you to take up images free, and in that case those free images can be taken, or but still attribution has to be given. And we can also take images which are licensed under Creative Commons license. This presentation that you are seeing today, we have adapted this presentation from a presentation created by Dr. Sameer Sahasrabudhe. He is the master of design and he is professor of design at IIT Gandhinagar. So we have taken his presentation and then modified that presentation to suit your purpose. Why were we able to modify this presentation? Because he had released this presentation in the Creative Commons license. And we have also further released it under Creative Commons. So every time we do any change, attribution is required. And another thing, we have a lot of text, what we were talking about, and with improper alignment. So we saw your suggestions. Dr. Gopalakrishnan mentioned about we need to present in the form of bullets. We need to correct the aspect ratio. And Dr. Anandi mentioned about the uh, aspect ratio and the dimension of the slide. So we have modified this slide into this form. So what we have done is we have moved the photograph of William Shakespeare towards the right-hand side, given an attribution. We have specified the source. We have, of course, taken your point and added bullet points. And to highlight the key works that Shakespeare has done, we have used bullets. And these icons are only decorative icons. Of course, they're not representing that number 154 and 39 place. They're only decorative icons that have been added. And another thing that we have done is we have used section dividers here to specify, to move the heading and the body text, to separate the heading and the body text. So section dividers have been used. Bullet points is a very good option when you want to specify this, add breathing space between the different points, right? And so we have a lot of space. Now I want all of you to specify how do you feel about this slide design as compared to the previous one? What are your inputs regarding this slide design now? Is it better than the previous one? Okay, so Dr. Rao is saying yes, it is good. And okay, Nitya, Dr. Nitya is also mentioning yes, Dr. Gopalakrishnan also. So what actually, I want to specify one thing here, that every time you are creating a slide design, you it is only a subjective evaluation and a subjective. Every suppose something that I have designed is better as compared to it is not that good as compared to your design. So it is again, this is not the final ultimate design. It is just one design suggestion that we have. And of course, background, it can be removed, it can be improved. I'm going to talk about colors. At which place, which kind of a color is applicable, in which situation, which color is applicable. This kind of a design that you are seeing now, it can be used in one kind of a situation. So we will discuss those guidelines also. So Dr. Gopalakrishnan, we will talk about what background color is suitable in our which particular situation. Probably it is not suitable here, but it might be suitable in a literature classroom where students want to see vibrant colors, right? And the font that we have used for William Shakespeare, it is a kind of a chalk font, which is representing that particular era in which William Shakespeare lived, right? So therefore, this again, this is something, not the ultimate correction or the ultimate change that has been made. further improvements are possible. Uh, okay, now I want all of you, this is a reflection spot question for all of you. On the screen, you can see two images, A and B. Both of them, they have the exact same text. They're both talking about Euclidean distance. The only difference is one thing, but I want you to choose which image is more readable. Okay, so we are already getting responses B. Dr. Nitya, Dr. Gopalakrishnan, they have mentioned B. Everybody else, right side, since it is aerial, okay. So yes, Dr. Anandi, that is a very, very good observation. And we agree that slide B is more readable. The size of the font, the text was exactly the same. The only difference was in the font. So what I want to convey here is that the type of font that we use on a particular slide it specifies how readable the content is on the particular on your slide. So that the fonts that we are talking about on the slide A has a font which is a serif font, and slide B had a font, the other side had a font which is a sans serif font. So what is the difference between serif and sans serif fonts? And if you see the text which is there on the screen, the top line is written in a serif font and the second line is written in the sans serif font. So if you see the difference, your serif fonts, they have these pointed tails, and these are known as serifs. And if you see the width also of A, just have a look at A, how A is written and how A is written at the bottom. For sans serif fonts, there are no tails, no serifs attached. And if you see the width also, A has a slightly thinner width in case of serif fonts, but in sans serif, it has an equal width. And same for S also, E also, right? So this makes a difference, especially when you are projecting on a bigger screen and you have a larger audience who are in an auditorium. If you are projecting in an audience, in an auditorium where there is a large audience, and you want your text to be visible to everybody who is sitting in the auditorium, even to the last person who is sitting, right? So in that case, it is always advisable to use sans serif font because it is easier on eyes. They are more visible, and serif fonts are more suitable for printed documents. So Times New Roman is a serif font. It is more suitable for a printed document if you want to print out a document and then read. Whereas when you are projecting on the screen, always try to use sans serif fonts because they are easier on eyes. And especially in a classroom scenario where you have students with these visual impairments, or if you are recording a presentation and then sending it as a video to students also, if they have visual impairment, they will not be able to see your serif fonts. So it is always advisable to make use of sans serif fonts in that case. And so this A difference we were talking about, right? And E also. So with this, I have another activity for all of you. Okay. So if you, okay, how many of you are a movie person and how many of you are a book person? Or I am both. I like movies, I like this books also. Yes, Dr. Anandi has given a very good observation. Circular motion, font style will be visible clearly, then sharp edge font. Yes, absolutely. So this is actually the crux of our previous slide. So she has summarized it in a really well manner. Yes. So with this, another activity, book person, movie person, I am both. Okay. So Dr. Rao has already mentioned both. I like movies, I like books. Okay. Dr. Anandi has mentioned movie. Okay. Others, please let me see how many of us are now here. Okay, so 40 of us already here. Okay, so Dr. Gopalakrishnan has mentioned book. Others, please let us interact in the chat itself. You can specify. This is an easy question. Whether you like books, whether you like movies or both. Okay, so Dr. Nitya has also mentioned both. Okay, so in case, since we have both also, so just think of books. In books, how do people or how do authors, or whenever the book is published, how do they highlight something which has to be like specified? How are dialogues written, and how do they emphasize? How do they lend emphasis in a book? So this is my question. How to lend emphasis? So how do they emphasize? See, books, a normal, if it is a novel, they do not have colors in it, right? So what else can they use? How do they, okay, not getting the point. So if you have to emphasize, okay, let us take another example. If you have any notebook or anything where you have to emphasize something or highlight something, how do you highlight something? That these are my key points. Let us take this example. Okay, so we have an answer from Dr. Virendra. Bold, we make the text bold, yes. So we make the text bold. And we can also make the text italics. We can underline the text. We can add bulleted lists also. And we can add pictures, explanation to highlight. But if only it is text, we are talking only of text. If you want to highlight text, so how do we highlight text? We make it bold, we make it italics, we underline, or we can also do one thing. If I am a person, I can also like emphasize by writing in capitals that this is something important. Like different font also, yes. So we can use different font, or we can capitalize the text, and we can also kind of change the color of the text, right? So different style, different emotions, font style, or different colors can also be used, right? So can you specify what is the issue with this emphasis that you can see on the screen now? This, what is the issue with the last one? What have we done in the last one? Is it okay if we use this? All in one, yes. So, Dr. Anandi, absolutely right. This is exactly not emphasis, this is overemphasis. So, we do not want to overemphasize. So, through this activity, I just wanted to specify one thing, that every time you are creating a presentation and you want to highlight something, that like this is my key point. So you can use any one of those styles. You either make the key point or the keywords as bold, or italicize them, or underline them, or you capitalize them, or you change the color of your key point. But when we try to use all of them together, then that makes a kind of an overemphasis. And same kind of a style should be used in all the slides. All these slides are part of the story that you are trying to tell. So it should not like be that on one slide you are bolding the text, making the text bold, and in the other one you are italicizing the text. So you follow a particular same style for all the presentations. So with this, we come to the typography guidelines, especially which are concerning the text, and that you try to use minimum fonts. We are summarizing whatever we have seen in the activities. So try to use minimum fonts in the presentation. Two fonts are more than sufficient, one for the heading and one for the body text. And also use font options to emphasize the one that we were talking about, but only keep in mind that you use the same kind of font option throughout the presentation to emphasize the key points. And use alignment feature. Okay. And another thing, I think all of you were specifying, some of you, the ones which are interacting here, you mentioned about the alignment for that particular slide. So, normally for presentation slides, we prefer left alignment as compared to justification. Why do not we justify the text on the presentation slide? Why? Because justification will create unequal spacing between the words on a slide. This justification thing is basically used for printed material, which has to be bound in the form of a report or a book, which has to be hard bound, where you want equal spacing. On one side, you want equal space, and on the other side also, both left and right, you want equal spacing. For that particular case, justification is used. But as far as your presentation slides are concerned, you need to left align the text, otherwise you will have unequal space between the words. And it is going to be make reading difficult for the audience. And also make use of the grid feature. Most of the softwares, whether it is like Google Slides, Microsoft PowerPoint, or Prezi, or any other software, Canva also, any software that you use for creating presentation slides, all of them, they have this option of grid that comes automatically. Those grid lines which become visible when you are placing a particular object. So you use those grid lines for the exact placement of the objects on the screen. So another thing, can you see the green star at the top corner of the this band where typography guidelines are there? This star is basically representing that this is the key slide of the presentation. And we can do these things when we are taking up a session for or in a classroom also, where we can specify the students that this is the slide where I have marked it as a key slide. And we also call them as screenshot slides, where you can take a screenshot and keep them. And to quickly revise, right? And so apart from that, any kind of a clue, any visual clue can be added to specify that these are important slides. Okay, so everybody, I also want to discuss the color guidelines along with the typography guidelines. Any questions that you have, you can just keep on asking in the chat if you have any query, any question that you want. So as far as color is concerned, uh, we wanted to talk about that background also, right? So the first guideline says more contrast and more readability. So we need to maintain, okay, so you want to see the demo of grid, picture placing. Yes, yes, sure. So just give me a second. I will stop this. Okay, let me take you here. Uh, can you see the red grid line which is coming, right? Everybody? The red grid line that keeps on coming when I move this picture, right? Apart from that, what we can do is, normally in case of any presentation, this is like Google Slides. Under the view, we have grid view option also available, or you can go to guides, add a vertical guide, add a horizontal guide. So if I want to add a vertical guide, it is going to come here. Suppose I want to put it here and then align the text accordingly. See, my text already is aligned according, they're all aligned. Why they are aligned? Because I used this grid line earlier, and therefore I placed it. And similarly, if I want to place a particular horizontal grid line, under view, I can go to guides and add a horizontal guide in order to place it here. And then probably I wanted multiple guides can also be placed. So these grid lines can be used. Now, since if you see the vertical line, now I know where my U, A, and L, they should start. So they will come all one after another and all aligned. And once you are done with how this placement has to be done, then you can like remove those grid lines. Everybody, are we okay with this? And I hope this was the question, right? Dr. Anandi, are you okay with this? Okay. Okay. So, moving forward, let me take you to color guidelines, which we were discussing. So, we were talking about earlier also about the background. So, so in this case, more contrast and more readability. For this also, you have a kind of two things that you need to keep in mind. That if your room is a dimly lit room, suppose you are projecting through a projector on a screen and the room is dimly lit so that the screen is clearly visible. So in that case, you need to have a negative contrast. Negative contrast would be that you have white text on a darker background, not only black, you can have dark blue or any darker background and white text on it. So do you remember the slide that we had for Shakespeare? That was dark background and white text on it. So that is suitable for a dimly lit room. And in case if you have a bright room where there is a lot of light, then this kind of a presentation that you are seeing now, where there is black text on white background, that is a positive contrast. That would be more suitable. And another reason for this is that if, especially for a dimly lit room, if you have a dark background and white or light text on it, it is going to strain the eyes of the audience a little less. Otherwise, they have to open their eyes and then look at your presentation. So that is also another reason for keeping the contrast according to the lighting which is there in the room. And another thing, vivid colors, something like this yellow, which is like very vivid, or pale colors, which are very difficult to read, they reduce the readability and they are not suitable for your presentation. And of course, use the color schemes to suit your topic. I'm sure you know all how to match colors. So, especially for academic purposes, we use like colors which are suitable, like blues, browns, grays, greens, shades of different shades of subtle greens, depending upon the topic that you are teaching in the classroom and for what purpose the presentation is being made. And with this, I want all of you to do another activity. So we are moving towards now diagram, and we are talking about chart, graphs. And now on the screen, you can see this slide, again, a slide, sample slide on the right hand side. The slide is talking about app localization. I asked my students, in fact, to create this slide. What they did, I asked them to create, they were trying to create an application, a mobile app, Happify, which is going to track the mood. So they wanted to identify what languages the app should be created. So we identified the most spoken languages worldwide. So according to the population, and so we have number of speakers on the y-axis and the languages on the x-axis and the number of speakers in millions. I want you to identify what are the issues with this graph, how we can improve this graph which is there on the screen. One design change for the graph which is there on the slide. Is the graph good looking, or what is the issue with the graph? So we have a lot of grid lines, not necessary to show grid lines. Yes, not visible font also. So Dr. Anandi has already mentioned grid lines should not be there. And this font, because of the grid lines, the text is not visible. And another anything else? Okay, yes. Dr. Rao, I also agree. Why grid? This was my reaction when I saw the presentation, this slide that students created, and I was like, why grid? Why this so much grid? Okay, and Dr. Anandi has identified another issue, slanting font style disturb the reader to read the font. Yes, I also had to like tilt to read Arabic and then Chinese and French, and then kind of this happened. So, so of course, these are the issues. So we have another thing, since it has only two dimensions. Another design issue, in fact, this is like a major issue. There are only two things, language and the number of speakers. But still they created a 3D graph. So there is no third dimension in it. So if you can see this, a depth has been created. These bars, they also have a depth. 3D bars are only created if there are three-dimensional data. But here data was only two-dimensional. So again, that issue. And we obviously talked about the grid lines, and because of the grid lines, the text is not visible. So we wanted to improve this graph, and this is what we did. And we also talked about these slanting labels which are there. So we tried to improve. So what earlier that you saw, a lot of grid lines, those 3D bars and three-dimensional look that had been given to the chart. In fact, there is a term which is associated with that, and it is known as chart junk. Chart junk is the non-essential elements of a particular chart. So we tried to remove the chart junk by eliminating those grid lines and making the chart like into a 2D chart. Still, we had this issue with the slanting labels. So since the size of the labels which are there on the x-axis, they are quite long. The number of characters in them are more. So what we had to do is we converted the chart from those vertical bars to a horizontal bar chart. Every time you have a chart where the labels are quite long and you want all of those labels to be clearly visible, you can move the dimensions. You can convert the x, move the x to y and y to x, right? The x axis can be moved. So now if you see on the screen, we have this chart where the labels, they have moved, languages, they have moved to this side. So horizontally, the bars are visible and the labels are easy to read. Along with that, what we have done is we have also arranged the elements earlier what we had this way. So in case if you want to show that which is the most spoken language, so in that case you can arrange the elements in logically, you can sort those elements. And another design change that we did here was that we wanted to highlight that how many number, our main context was that we wanted the app in Hindi. So we wanted to highlight the number of speakers who are speaking Hindi. So we have used color properties. We have changed the color of that bar of Hindi in order to specify how many speakers are there, or we wanted to highlight that. Another thing could be that we could like highlight it in some other way. So we chose this option. And another thing, I had an issue with this white background which was there. It was not like it was looking patchy. So we decided to remove the background of the chart and keep it transparent so that we can put it on the slide and it blends with the slide design. Everybody, are we okay with this? Yes. Is this graph better than the one that we saw earlier? Any questions that you have? Yes, yes. Technical, it is not something like that, that technical PPT should be white. It depends. It depends upon what kind of a background that you want. It depends upon, we had this design style for the app that we were creating. So this was actually a branding that we are using. So if you have a technical or a business presentation where you want to show a particular brand, and this is the branding, then of course, no issue with that. It is not necessary. Again, we only have to talk about whether the background and the text, they are visible or not. There is a contrast in that case. Okay. Okay. So another issue that we use. So with this, I'll quickly, we have already discussed the chart and the design guideline. Of course, we have talked about the removal of the chart junk, keeping the chart, converting into a horizontal bar chart, use of colors to emphasize text. So these are certain guidelines that must be kept in mind when we are designing charts for our presentations, or in fact, even whenever we are designing charts for our papers or reports also. And okay, so another thing that we usually find is that how to like arrange data in the form of tables and how should tables be designed. So we have this table that we have taken from a sample slide where the table is related to the review of literature that the author is trying to present, and the review of literature is related to the deep learning model for crop diseases classification. And they have given the author the species that they are looking for, the disease in the species that they're looking for, what model, which deep learning model they have used, and what accuracy they have achieved, and whether the model was developed using real life images or not. So this is the table that the author has presented. What design change are you looking for in this table? Okay, so for that, I want all of you to do a squint test. So what you have to do is just squint your eyes and try to see on the screen this table. What is the first thing or the most prominent thing that you see when you try to squint your eyes and look at this table? Okay, the size of the cell has to be fit with the content. Instead of alternate row with alternate color, same color should be used. Absolutely, absolutely. Dr. Anandi, absolutely correct. And along with that, did you try the squint test? What is the first thing that you see in this table? Okay, the heading. Okay, table headings. Okay, which are very like big. Okay, anything else? Yes, Dr. Rao, single color needed. Okay, so what issues we see here is the what I saw when I was looking, those multiple shades, white and then that pale yellow, and those grid lines, they're so prominent. Font size should be bigger, okay. Center alignment of the table inner title. Okay, so that again depends upon, we can center align or left align or make them all, either all left align or all center align. One alignment should be followed, not something like here, something is like one column is left aligned and the some other like model is right aligned and accuracy is right aligned. Model is center aligned, right? This in this case, this accuracy, which is right aligned, this is particularly suitable when you are going to do some total. If you want to show some total in the table, then right alignment is like, okay, you want to add up and then show some total has to be there. But if it is normal data, either something which is left aligned or center aligned, but uniform alignment, right? So that has to be followed. So, so what we tried to do here is this table, which has been modified. How is this as compared to the previous one? Okay, so better, right? So we have removed those alternate colors. We have made only the header stand out. So what we have done here is we have made the header stand out as compared to all those rows, alternate colors which were coming. And those grid lines of the table, ah, yes. And we have also mentioned the highlighted value, highlighted because that is the maximum accuracy value. I want to convey that this is the maximum accuracy that has been achieved by the researcher. And of course, Dr. Anandi, you have already mentioned my points, and that is really great that we have used icons to highlight that, because the researcher wanted to highlight that whether the model has been developed using real world images or not. So, and if you see, there was only one yes in that, and everything else was no. So, we wanted to highlight where that yes is. So, we used iconography in order to to specify that, and we used bold. We only changed the size of the text and made it a little bigger and bolder to specify that this is the key or the maximum accuracy that has been achieved. So every time you are adding tables, it is I agree. Every time I have to add a table, I have to like match the size, especially for a literature survey table that has to be added. So you need to focus on the content, not those grid lines. In fact, if you go back and see, we removed those column lines from the table and we added only the row uh, separators. So you need to ensure that the table is in harmony with the slide design and make use of icons and typography features in order to highlight the key message that you want to convey through the table. And with this, we come to the overall guidelines for this uh, session. One, I would like to also mention that every time we are creating a presentation, we can also choose some predefined template for creating a presentation. Why templates? Because templates, they are created using these well-researched guidelines. They know what fonts to use for heading and what font to use for the body text and what color scheme to use. So we can look for a good template that is suitable for our requirement and then add the content or the modify it according to our requirements. Along with that, we can also another chunking and putting the content into the slides. Try to keep one slide per topic. Do not try to add too many topics into one slide, and follow a guideline called a 6 by 6 guide. This 6 by 6 guide says that you try to keep maximum 6 bullets on one slide and try to reduce the word length of those bullets to 6 words per bullet. I know this is very difficult, but you can try to summarize the content into those bullets instead of adding a lot of text. And follow consistent rules. Again, if you want to highlight, either use bold, italic, or color change and use it throughout the presentation. And for adding graphic to your presentation, you need to choose a graphic that is suitable. It is appropriately positioned and acknowledged. Try to, obviously, every time you add an image, you need to give the source of that particular image in the presentation. So with this, we have come to the end of the first part where I want to just summarize by saying that a good design and good content, of course, we are good at content. If we have a good design, we can create a very effective presentation. Uh, I don't know at what time do you take break? Is it already the time before we move to the lab session? Or, yeah,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can take 5 minute break.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So,
In meanwhile, any participant wants to ask anything, ma'am, you can write in chat box or
Yeah,
you
yeah,
will
yeah.
ask.
I'm here only. Okay, everybody, welcome back after 5 minutes break. Are we back?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can start.
Okay. So I was talking about the presentation templates that we can use. On the screen, you can see some websites which have really good templates. My favorite, personal favorite one is SlidesGo. SlidesGo has really good templates for any presentation that I have to create. I go first to SlidesGo to look for, I just need to type the kind of presentation template that I'm looking for, or just give a brief of your topic, and it is going to give you a lot of slide template suggestions. You can download those slides for Microsoft PowerPoint or as Google Slides. And then they have a lot of resources in the form of icons also available. Apart from that, for any icons that you're looking for, you can go to Noun Project and look for icons and flat icon. Flat icon has stickers, icons for creating diagrams also. If you want to add them into diagrams also, you will find really good icons for all the purposes here. And another thing, what we are going to do now is another very interesting thing. We will do a lab session and try to apply the guidelines that we have seen earlier into some sample slides. We will evaluate sample slides. I will show you sample slides on the screen, and you have to evaluate those sample slides on the basis of a rubric. The rubric will be there at the bottom of the sample slide. Sample slide will be at the top and the rubric will be at the bottom. So you have to evaluate that particular sample slide according to the rubric. And then what we'll do is we will come back and then discuss. So so you have to observe a sample image, evaluate it using the rubric criteria, and then share your score. There will be the rubric criteria. You have to allot marks to those sample slides on the basis of the criteria which is there. For example, these kind of slides are going to come. On the screen, you will see a sample slide at the top and the criteria at the bottom. And then you have to give score either low, medium, or high. Everybody, are we okay with what are we going to do now? Are the instructions, have you understood what we are going to do? Yes? Okay, fine. So, so this is the sample slide criteria, and then you have to allocate marks. So, and of course, share the marks like this image and this. Otherwise, you can directly type and then specify. So this is the first set of images. There are two images on the screen, 1A and 1B. And these images, they have to be evaluated according to the criteria of usage of font. First, 1A, let us do 1A first, and then we will do 1B. For 1A, you have to evaluate the slide on the basis of how many fonts. If they have too many fonts, more than 3 fonts used in the presentation, then 0 marks or low. And if there are 2 fonts, but they are not readable, then this one, second one. And if 2 fonts and which are readable and there is appropriate usage of fonts, and are you able to see also properly? Just let me see. Yes. An appropriate usage of fonts other than high marks. So for 1A, let us do it for 1A first. Everybody, I'm switching off my video because I don't have electricity at my home and my battery level has come to 32%. So I'm switching off the camera for some time. Okay, so 1A, let us do 1A first. 1A, it has to be evaluated according to the usage of fonts. Okay. Dr. Anandi is saying all bold. Okay, but what marks would you give? Low, medium, or high for 1A? According to the, we are doing this evaluation according to the criteria. Okay, so medium. You are saying that there are two fonts in the presentation, but those two fonts are not readable and some font options are unnecessary. Okay, so medium, fine. Others, what do you think? Okay, so Dr. Gopalakrishnan has mentioned 1A low and 1B medium also. Okay. And Dr. Anandi has mentioned 1B medium. Okay, so I think maximum out of, okay, so we have only two participants who are participating, right? Others, please let us do something. What do you think? What score would you want to give to 1A and 1B? Okay, so of course, this again, I want to specify this activity that we are doing and the scores that you are giving. These are exactly this is subjective evaluation, something that we are looking today. We might give some score, and the same thing that we give it, see after a few days, we might give some other score. Why? Because when our eyes get trained or when we are able to see some other things, the score can vary. In fact, the score will vary from person to person also. And the basic idea behind this activity is that what we do is every time we create a presentation, we give it to our friend for review, both for content and for design. We have a team. I am from a research group called Active Learning Workshops, ALW. So we are people from all over India who have come together to create this research group. And a few of our members have also joined today. Uh, uh, Ambali, she has joined from Kerala. Tejinder is there from Ludhiana. Shruti is also there. So what we do is every time we create a presentation, we give it to our teammate for content and as well as design review so that we get feedback. And they use these kind of rubrics also for the evaluation of our slides. So that is the criteria. So, and we do it for our students also. Students also give us our presentation for our review and feedback. So probably you can use this kind of a rubric for the evaluation of their slides also, or give it to students. They can also self-evaluate their slides. Okay, so let us move on to the next slide that we have. So you have to evaluate this one for the use of colors. Since we talked about fonts, and now this is for the use of colors. What do you think? Are there too many colors? Colors are like too bright, too pale? Okay, so Dr. Anandi has given medium score. So some colors are unnecessary, some colors are bright and pale, right? Okay, so Dr. Anandi, Dr. Gopalakrishnan, they are on the same page. So they are saying medium. So absolutely, there are some colors which are unnecessary and some colors which are bright. See this Rangoli line which is there at the bottom. And contrast, yes, absolutely, because the contrast is low. Now, absolutely, you are able to get the point. And it is really great that you are able to recall and apply whatever you have learned in the previous guidelines. And this Rangoli line, this is some colors which are completely unnecessary. So with this, I'll give you the presentation. You can go through the various criteria which are there in this lab activity. And why I want to stop here is because I want to demonstrate a particular tool. So what I had thought of, there is a particular tool. We started with diagrams, and I want to
Excuse me,
demonstrate.
ma'am.
Yeah, yeah,
Hello,
I,
ma'am. Ma'am,
yeah.
your slides are not visible.
Because I
Oh,
have stopped sharing.
okay, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Because I want to show something else also now.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I want to showcase a particular tool. Uh, it is since we are in the era of AI, and there is and one thing that we find most difficult, especially whenever we are creating presentations or any kind of study material also, creating diagrams. And we started, I think, with diagrams. The entire conversation when we were talking about the challenges, that started with diagrams. And since this FDP is also, it has a part of, in its objectives, the AI part. So I want to showcase a particular tool called Napkin AI. How many of you have already heard of Napkin AI? Have you heard of Napkin AI? Okay, so not heard. Okay, so Dr. Gopalakrishnan, have you used it? Okay, heard but not used. Okay. And Jyoti is also saying not used. Okay, so in case if you are on a desktop, you can start also Napkin AI with me. I'm going to give you a demonstration of this tool. This is an AI diagramming tool. It allows you to create diagrams. And how are we going to use it? I am going to share my screen again. So what are we going to do here is that you need to go to Google, open a tab or anything, and then look for Napkin AI. And this is the page of Napkin AI, and it allows you to sign in using your Google account. It is a freemium tool. Some part of it is free, and the other part, after that, after some usage, you have to like pay for it. And but normally, for like if you're not using it very regularly, you can use it. So first time when you will sign in, it is going to ask you for your Google account, since I have already signed in and I'm already here. So this is the screen that you get. Everybody, can you see the screen? Yes? Yes? Okay. So this is the screen that we get, and it allows you to create your diagrams using either by pasting the content, or you can describe your idea or import if the text, you already have some text in a file, then you can import that text. Or you can also create a blank napkin. So if you are doing it for the first time, I'll give you time also to try this out. So if you're doing it for the first time, you go to Napkin AI, then sign in using your Google account. It is going to ask for certain permissions that it can access your account, and you just say yes and then come to the screen. And when you come here, you select blank napkin. So with blank napkin, you come here to this page. And here, I already have some sample text that I want to show you. It can do a lot of things. It can create numerous diagrams. So let's try with this. My topic is what are the steps for designing a presentation. So I will take this text, which I already have, and let me paste it here. Designing a presentation. And if you see, this small icon has already come. In fact, this entire document can also be downloaded as a PDF form. You select the text and see this blue spark icon has come. And when you click here, it will read it. Since it is a natural language processing tool, it is going to read your text and suggest you diagrams according to your uh, text. So, since it is a step-by-step process, I want to take up this, or you can click on more. It is going to give you more ideas of the diagram that you want to create, or since you know that this is a process that you want to explain, you have these options: mind map, process, data, timelines, comparison, and all of these options which are there. So you can go to process also, and probably I want to see the sequence and see the diagram suggestions which are there. Suppose I want to go with this. Then it is going to give you color options also, color, font options that you want to choose with. And suppose I want to take up this first one. So when you click, this diagram is inserted. Everybody, are you following me? Whatever I have done till now. Are we here, everybody? Okay. So, and after that, what you can do is this text is completely editable. You can edit this text and you can change the font of this text. I want to change the font to Arial, Courier, Georgia. It can be made bold, unbold. You can increase the size also of the text. You can change the alignment of the text. You can change the color of the text. These things can be done. You can also change the color of the icons which are there. These can be changed. And background color you want to change, that can also be done. This heading thing, text can be removed if you do not want it. And after that, once you have designed your diagram, what you can do is you can download that particular diagram. For that, you have this download option or export visual option available. And when you click on export, it gives you the option to download it as a PNG, SVG, PDF, or PPT. For PPT, you can see this three. Three says three PPTs in the free version. I am also using free version, so I have only three PPTs available for 1 month. And three SVGs, support vector graphic. I can, three SVG vector form images can be downloaded. And PNG, there is no limit. PDF, there is no limit on the downloads. And once you download, let me download it as PNG. It gives you the option light background, dark background, what kind of a background do you want. In the free version, you will get the logo of Napkin AI at the bottom. You can set the resolution also, 1x, 2x, 3x, it can be set. And then click on download. Once you download, let us see, let us try to insert it also in the slide. Let me insert a new slide here. And what we will do is, we will try to insert the image. Or let me just duplicate this one. From the downloads, we will open this image and we have this image available. If you want, everybody, can you see this? I did not do anything. I just gave my prompt, not even prompt. I just gave my text and the diagram has been created. Only select the text and then you create the diagram, right? Okay. So another thing, another example that I want to show you is that apart from diagrams, it can also create charts. Okay, so let me go back here. I will delete this text, delete this, and let me copy this. Now, when I am selecting this part and when I click on this, automatically it is going to detect that you want, since this is talking about some data. So it is going to give you charts. Suppose I wanted to create a line chart. It is talking about social media usage. So you get this kind of a line chart without even putting up the data. If you have some text available and you want to convert it into a chart, and again, you can customize it and then download it. And one thing, when you download it as a presentation, the entire diagram is editable. When you download, it will be downloaded as a presentation slide, and the data on it will be editable, right? So that data can be edited in the presentation. You can add animation effects also. And another example, why I am doing it quickly, because of the, I want to give you time to practice also. Are you practicing along? Do you have access? This application, Napkin AI, can only be used on a desktop and not on the mobile phones. So if you have the access to laptop and if you can practice along and create some diagrams for any text that you have. If you have any class, what I do is I do it for my class notes. Uh, Lately, I had this topic that I wanted to teach to my students on careers that are possible in the field of data science, and we had a lot of text and a lot of numbers in it. So I converted those that particular text into a diagram, and especially when you want to have a lot of diagram and you want to convey your ideas to the students, in that case, it is very, very useful, this tool. Quickly creating a diagram without any hassle. Okay, another thing which I want to quickly showcase is that if you have text available, do not even have text available. Let me create, I'm going to library and I'm deleting this one. And when you click on new napkin, it is asking you to describe my idea, this option. So I'm going to select this option and I am writing this. Difference between traditional commerce and e-commerce. Suppose I want to create a diagram for this. And when I click on new napkin, it is giving me text also. And along with that, we will create a diagram also for this text. Okay, so what we'll do is I will select this entire text. I want to create a difference table where I can show the difference between this, both things. Click on, it is as easy like magic. Just click on the spark icon and your difference table will be created. You can already see that things have started coming. You can click on more and see other options also. Okay, so suppose I want to take something like this. And then choose also the color and the font style that you want. Of course, it is editable. And you can see the difference between the traditional commerce and e-commerce. This table thing has been created. Everybody, are we okay till here? Yes? Any questions? Okay. So one last thing that I want to demonstrate here, there are many categories of diagrams which can be created. One thing that I want to demonstrate here is that you can also change the language. Again, let me delete this one and then create another one to quickly show. Okay, so new napkin. So something wrong with it now. Okay, so otherwise, when you open a new napkin, you can again, so we are here, new napkin, and I will choose a blank napkin. So for changing the language, what you have to do is you have to click on this gear icon at the top right corner. And language is auto detect, you convert it to Hindi or any language that you want. You have Gujarati, you have Hindi, other languages are also there. I'm going to demonstrate for Hindi. So what we'll do is I have some text available. Let me just copy paste this text and we will come here, paste it here and select it and then click on the icon. And your timeline is ready, right? Everybody, I have my battery. This laptop battery is going to die. Before it dies and I join from another device, I want all of you to try it out, create some diagram and post your diagram on the Padlet. This is the Padlet link which I have. You try for your own topics. I will join from another device by that time. Is it okay, everybody? We still have time. You can try out and I will join from another device because my laptop is about to die now. I was waiting for the electricity to come back. Everybody, have you started? So everybody, have you started using it?
Any problem that you are facing while using Padlet? Or on the Padlet, what you have to do is, have you used Padlet earlier? Everybody, have you used Padlet for any purpose earlier? Okay, so what you have to do is, you have to choose any topic of your subject, and then what you any topic or any text that you already have, or even if you have the title of any topic that you teach, just go to Napkin AI, generate text for it if there is no text, if you already have. And if you have some text, then copy paste that text and generate a diagram. And after that, what you have to do is that you have to, okay, so Dr. Gopalakrishnan has already created some napkin and then shared the napkin also. You can also share a napkin. So you can see that he has already shared a napkin with us. And Ambali, can you check the napkin that has been shared by Dr. Gopalakrishnan? Just open and see what has been created. And on the Padlet, what you have to do is you have to download the visual and see and upload it on the Padlet by clicking on the plus icon. Plus icon will allow you to create a new node. And when you create a new node, you can upload that photograph and put up your name also of the diagram that you have created. Meanwhile, I will also try to see what Dr. Gopalakrishnan has shared. That is really nice, unveiling the power of intensity transformations in medical imaging. So this is the diagram and we have mathematical. Okay, I'll share my screen to show you. Everybody, can you see the diagram that Dr. Gopalakrishnan has created and shared? He has generated text also. We have related to linear transformations, logarithmic transformations, and the diagram which is there. And since he has shared in the chat, we can also see, you can also open it. So one thing which in fact I forgot to mention also, that we can also share the napkin with other. Like we normally, if you use Canva, you know how to share the diagrams. Similarly, here also napkins can be shared. Anyone else who has tried? Yes. So Ambali has also seen. Ambali is my friend from Kerala who is here today to see the session. So we have various intensity transformations diagram that Dr. Gopalakrishnan has created. Others, are you trying? At least say yes, no in the chat so we know that you are trying. Okay, so, okay. Dr. Rao, we are waiting to see what are you creating. Dr. Gopalakrishnan, can you download that diagram and post on the Padlet also so that everybody can also see later on? Everybody, we are waiting. You are trying and we are waiting. Okay. Any questions related to Napkin AI that are coming? Any issue that you are facing? You can keep asking me. Okay, so for uploading on the Padlet also, you need to log in using your Gmail account. Otherwise, it will appear as anonymous. Dr. Rao, Dr. Anandi, and others. Jyoti, did you try? Okay, okay. Are you facing any problems, everybody? Jyoti, okay, everybody, at least specify the topics in the chat for which you are creating diagrams. Let us see. I will also try to create that particular diagram with you, and let us see whether we are creating same diagram or some different one. Okay, everybody. Let us see what you have. Okay, decrypting content. Fine. Okay, Dr. Gopalakrishnan, it was great interacting with you. I think we have almost reached the end of the presentation. In case if you want to all practice more website, you can or you can just go and search for the Google and write talks and sessions, and you will be able to find. I have already uploaded the presentations on my website, and you will be able to download them and see for the more examples. Presentations. And thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this very informative talk. Participant, do you have any query?
I think we lost connection in between because of my shifting of devices.
Okay, ma'am,
But
no
still,
issue.
yeah, technology is technology. But I think did you practice? I just wanted to know because we saw one diagram that Dr. Gopalakrishnan had created, and the Padlet link is there. You can upload later on also. And if you have any questions, you can also send through email or send a message on my website, and it will reach me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was great presentation. I can see I'm in the PhD still earlier. I can see
Okay.
these kind of things we can add. First time I've seen these kind of presentations. It was very good, especially the napkin AI. Just I listen about that, but this time I'm going to use in my next presentation, so it
Yeah.
will be more impactful.
Okay. Okay, so it was great interacting with all of you, and I am thankful to the organizers also for inviting me here and giving me the chance to have an interaction with all of you. So it is already 7 o'clock. I think we have to stop at 7 or
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So
Yes.
thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am.